Welcome to Leaders of Enchantment podcast, hosted by Cameron Ward and Doug Campbell in New Mexico. Bob Lange, welcome to Leaders of Enchantment podcast.
Thank you. It's an honor to be here.
Just to, get to know you a little bit, why don't you tell us about yourself? A little short.
You betcha. I was born in Philly, raised in Cleveland next to the steel mills. When my pop died in '68, I was a federal brat. My mom was a VA psych nurse, and so we wound up in Puerto Rico for my high school years. That was a really great cultural event for me, as we didn't live on base. We lived up in the hills. After that event, we moved to Albuquerque because my girlfriend in Puerto Rico was from Albuquerque. So
You had a girlfriend in Philly.
in Puerto Rico.
Okay.
But she was there also, federal brat
Okay.
from Albuquerque. And she told me all about Albuquerque and how it was 100,000 people and it was really fun and all that. So
Interesting.
that brought us to Albuquerque. I finished off the last couple months of school at West Mesa High School, go Mustangs, and then went to the University of Albuquerque to study under Jim Morley and the great people there. So that flipped into a radio career that lasted 20 years, including KRST. I should mention that a partner and I started the first black R&B station in New Mexico, KDEF FM 94.1, which eventually grew into 94 Rock, where I would do mornings in 1980, 81, somewhere around there, about 2 years before TJ Trout came along.
And for anyone who's listening, you have the voice.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe some people will recognize it.
It was, well, I'm on the Albuquerque Journal now, and then the red and yellow lottery balls that float across your TV screen.
Okay.
But so, yeah, it's been I think it was God's survival tool for me. He said, well, you can't do anything else. Let's give him a voice, and he survived somehow.
Okay.
But yeah, it's been a wonderful ride here in Albuquerque because we were able to do multiple things. Whereas when I went to ABC in Washington, D.C., I wound up that you could only certain people could push certain buttons, and you were stuck in a trade, you were stuck in a slot, and so as talent, you didn't do anything but talent. And here in Albuquerque, you can be a multifunctioneer, and I encourage it, because in Albuquerque during those years, like 1975 to the present, it's really helpful to be multifaceted, to be able to do many things.
Skills.
Yes. So you can do mini pivots in the middle of your career. When editing slows down, you can go shoot, or you can do audio, or you can produce your own things, or fall back on a trade, So I love Albuquerque for that, because we were able to be even more creative as a result. And your investment shouldn't be in gear. It should be in education.
Okay.
Learn your skill sets.
In yourself.
Yes.
Invest in yourself.
Yes, and that's part of what I did. I did go off to the Maine Media College to study under some Hollywood greats for video, script breakdown, shot selection, lighting. I studied under the guy who did The Fall Guys and Halloween, and the DP for The Jazz Singer and The Muppet Movie and all these great ABC Movie of the Week kind of things. And then came back to Albuquerque and applied it.
Okay. Well, we're going to get definitely deeper into, I guess, your roadmap of how, but I'm still curious about, how does one Puerto Rican lady.
Well, she was an Albuquerquean in Puerto Rico.
Okay.
Yeah.
How does Albuquerque initiately, or how does it sound when you're hearing for the first time about Albuquerque?
Well,
compared to what it is today?
Yeah, at that time, it was a 100,000 market. So there were 100,000 people here. And we had, I think, 43 radio stations. So it was really competitive.
And you moved here with your family?
It was just me and my mom. My dad had passed away. I was an only child, spoiled rotten, until I found out that you have to work for a living. So
okay. So she kind of was like,
yeah,
son.
Yeah. It was just us. And she came to work at the VA here and retired out there. And I went to school. I went both to U of A and UNM, and finished out, jumped into the radio world, and was KRST 94 Rock 108, KMYR was the most fun. And I mean, there's a whole string of call letters, KZZX, and my final destination for on air was KKOB.
Okay. As a kid, did you already have that voice? Were you practicing in the living room sometimes?
No, not really. It didn't come to me until I was at the University of Albuquerque. I wanted to be a teacher, and
And that's what you mean by U of A.
yes, yes.
Okay.
Oh, okay, for
Because
the
I was thinking like University of Arizona for a
yeah, for all
second.
those Arizona kids. Sorry, it was a Jesuit school, so I really got a great education from them. But it also led me to the radio station upstairs, which is where we started the House of Soul at 94.1. And that when we
At the
started,
university.
yeah, well, we didn't know that it was a commercial license there. We thought it was an educational station, and we had to do issues in agriculture. We found out from the engineer that the signal went to the South Valley and through a predominantly black neighborhood. Nobody was serving. There was no radio out of all these stations. There was nobody serving the black community, and we thought, this is stupid. Let's do it. We can, now that we know we're a commercial license, let's do it. Well, that had an effect. The radio.
Just the R&B.
Yes, yes, and so we recruited from the Albuquerque Police Academy, which was on campus, and we had black officers come and get on the air and do a great job. One in particular became a traffic reporter for KOB, Vern Rollerson, but when he was on KDEF FM, he was the groover, the all-night mover, getting down to the nitty-gritty, live and straight from the big Duke City with a steaming stack of wax just for you ladies out there, and the phone lit up.
Wow.
And man,
You're
I mean, it was,
calls
oh yeah,
left and right.
oh yeah, it
This
changed
song.
everything. So the guys downtown here at Second and Marquette, they called us and said, we want you two numbskulls to come down. This is me and my partner, Ellis Martin, who were running the station after Rick Huff and Anna Chavira tossed it over to us. So we go downtown, and the guys, we were expecting to get chewed out. We're going to get fired from the station. We're going to get expelled from school. And no, they said, no, how'd you guys like to work in radio and get money for it? Hey, I was like, oh yeah, let's go.
So this is your like first time ever gig in radio.
Right. Paying gig, yeah, or
It's
volunteer.
only supposed to be about agriculture.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it was going to be an education for me as a future teacher to learn how to get my kids' plays advertised as a PSA. So I'd fill the auditorium. Their egos would be inflated. They would feel like they could do anything. And bam, I'd be a great teacher.
Okay. Okay, wait. So you stepped up a little too far, I think. You said my kids.
Yeah, the students at the
Okay,
school that I would be assigned to as a theater teacher, English teacher, literary arts, all that stuff.
Okay.
And so
What was your major?
literary arts.
Okay.
Yeah.
From the beginning, were you always maybe like a studious, or once the radio came, you
No.
were like,
No, I struggled through school, except for the things like theater or
okay.
art, drama. I was a big fan. I got a scholarship to New Mexico State as Best Actor of 1973 when I
Whoa.
was a student at
From
West Mesa.
West Mesa.
Yeah,
Oh my
yeah.
goodness.
Thank you, Joan Kent, a theater named after her at Cibola. Now, but she was a fantastic teacher. She saw how when I came from Puerto Rico, she says, "Whoa, this kid's going to be bored here. Let's put him to work." She made me a student director of a play, Russian Theater of the Absurd play. We wound up going to the Las Cruces Festival, and the scholarship was for Best Actor, Best Actress, and I won. And I wasn't supposed to because I was an understudy on the bus down.
Whoa.
I did not.
So anything can happen.
Anything can happen. And you have to be ready for opportunity when it comes your way.
Uh-huh.
Now, for me, it was opportunity to jump into radio and make money. We wound up going to KRST very soon after. And KRST at that time, we're talking about 1975, 76,
How old are you?
21.
Okay.
And so it was the station because it was the only one doing, the Fleetwood Mac, Led Zeppelin, all that, what now is
great.
classic rock.
Yep.
And so we had like an 80% share of the people between 12 and 35. And so that was propulsion for our careers. And we decided we're going to stay in radio. And I stayed as long as I could, So I stayed in radio till 95. And that's when Well, I had kids, and I wanted to feed them and send them to school and all
And
those
we
things.
will get into that for sure. And I'm curious, what was the you didn't go to New Mexico State and you
Stayed at U of A.
University of Albuquerque, was that under a scholarship in acting as well?
No,
No.
no.
You
My
wanted to
mother
stay
was a saint.
closer
Yeah,
to here.
yeah. I want to stay close to family and friends, but yeah, Mom was a saint because
Okay.
she allowed me to do that, and it turned out that it paid off.
Mhm.
So her bet paid off. But man, oh man, imagine your kid turning to you and going, "Hey, Ma, you know that 4-year scholarship I got down here paid for? Yeah, I want to go study under the Jesuits instead. Is that okay?" Lucky for me, she was a good Catholic girl and said yes.
And almost like a new profession because a lot of, parents and kids
Oh
are
yeah,
pushed into like become a doctor,
sure.
become a teacher maybe close by. How do you kind of like speak up and essentially market yourself as a radio or as a talented voice?
Well, I don't know. I think
Was there right whipping?
you just you perform the best you can. You try to give your heart to it, 110%. Try and be 3% better than the next guy, and just keep moving in that direction with a focus. It's wherever you point your ship, that's where it's going. So find the star that you're sailing towards, and stay focused on that, and you'll get there by golly. So that was it. I'd like to say it was more complex than that, but
Did you
it's
do theater?
be ready for opportunity. I did in like student plays at Pope Keller Hall,
Uh-huh.
and I might have done one thing at Pope Joy as a secondary player, but I can't. That's a long time ago. I really moved out of theater into broadcasting, and tried to learn these new technologies at that time, which are now ancient, archaic technologies. But that's the way it goes. Today's latest thing is tomorrow's sale price. So we just keep evolving. And I have a T-shirt on my Etsy store. Yes, I have an Etsy store. It says "Evolve or Die." And that's what you really got to do. You got to evolve or die. And so when these new things come at us like AI and all that, you pivot, you evolve, you
Mhm.
move forward.
So what was your earliest profession as like in
Broadcast, radio
broadcasting with
broadcaster.
KKOB?
It would be, no, that was the last one. The first one was probably KDEF and KRST when it was rock and roll. And
Okay.
then I bounced a bit, and
How does one get
94
a
rock.
job like instantly like that nowadays?
Your network.
Network. Go to those
Yeah,
events.
go to the events. Go to
Which
events. Get involved. Find your people.
Mhm.
Find your tribe. That's
Yep.
that's it. Be a part of your community and contribute to it.
Mhm. And
That's
speaking
it.
of which, that's how we met.
Yes.
Which was my first time. It was a marketing awards ceremony for which I'm still unclear of.
The American Advertising Federation.
Okay.
It's the largest organization in the country for advertising agencies and personnel.
Mhm.
And I was pretty surprised by that whole thing.
And congrats because for
Thank you.
anyone who's listening, you were you won the 2026 best
Silver medal.
silver medal. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
And
Lifetime Achievement Award, basically.
tell us about how you got connected um with your
Advertising?
yes.
Yeah, that was a crazy story because of the fact that it kind of was a disconnect from radio.
Right.
Um, when I was doing mornings at 94 Rock, they started asking me to do things I'd rather not do on a morning show.
Mhm.
We had a parting of the ways, and I'd want to say I was mad at radio in general, but let's just say I went and did other things.
Okay.
I pivoted straight out of the industry for about a year, maybe two.
Is this because it was like,
You
prices
can't do
are
well.
skyrocketing and you're
No,
like,
the creative was taken away from it. In other words,
okay.
when you're a creative, you you create. You're leading the communication of in that art form.
Right.
Well, when they take away that ability to communicate in your art form, what do you have left? You're a mechanic, you're a lever puller, and that's not what I wanted to be. So, because I love people, I wanted that communication, that intimacy with the audience, and so I left, and thank God it wasn't too much longer. I found a home at Competitive Edge Advertising. Betty Ann McDermott, she was the manager of the studio, and allowed me to become an audio engineer for Competitive Edge Sunrise Teleproductions, which was adjacent to Competitive Edge Advertising.
Okay. And this is what you did, like
I did that
the
from
audio engineering.
1980 something to 1988, and it was wonderful being a producer for GMC Truck and Coach.
Okay.
I directed maybe 1,000 TV commercials.
Wow.
All those fun TV spots you hated to watch, like it's 2.9% financing on a new Buick today at so and so Buick GMC. It was tons of fun though. I mean,
You were
because
the
I'm a car
voice
guy.
right away.
I wasn't. I was the engineer.
Okay.
But I had Johnny Hyatt, Jackson Kane, Carol Eason, and Don Nutting, and Dick Boyer, and so many great voice talents that were here in Albuquerque at the time, to teach me how to not just be a radio guy, but to step forward and become a professional announcer. And I was shocked at what the difference was. There's a difference between being a radio guy and a professional voice talent. And so they started to let me behind the mic,
Okay.
and that just grew and grew and grew and grew until, throughout the rest of my career, to this very day, I am still doing voice work, and I love it. But AI is creeping me out. It's there, and I don't mean creeping me out like I'm scared of it. I'm creeping me out like it's creeping up on me and pushing me out.
Oh.
So that's another pivot that we'll talk about. Yeah.
And then it's like working. How can now we use technology to work with us and not against us?
There you go. You're on it, Cam. That's the secret. Is if AI is coming after your job, you're a graphic designer,
Yep.
you're a voice talent, you're a video editor, and AI is sucking away your clients. Level up. Just turn around and grab that AI tool or combination of tools
Yep.
and start being creative again. Use it as your tool. And then that will empower you to move forward. You'll have to pivot and go in maybe some uncomfortable space, but do it.
And it's such a tough topic too, because I know like with AI, it takes a lot of our water, it takes a lot of our natural resources. But if we ignore it for so long, then the many of us are going to go without jobs.
Right.
So it's how do you
There's an important point right there. And that is that, yes, you must be, as a creative, you must follow that soul.
The
You must follow that
system.
heart light.
It's a system,
But
right?
you also have to, you being a creative, it comes from your soul, from your heart, from your eyes, from
Right.
your hands. But you also have to eat. You have to keep a roof over your house. So you have
Yep.
to be able to balance that ability to be creative and that ability to have enough cash flow that you're not just covering roof and food, but you're putting a little bit away for retirement too, because that comes along,
Oh
and
my
all of a
Lord.
sudden, there comes a day
Yes.
when the phone stops ringing because they consider you too old to be able to function, which is a
Is
myth.
that a thing for voice?
It's a thing for everything, from your bus driver to your
Oh.
satellite engineer.
Well,
Ageism
the
is
regular
real. Yeah.
yes.
But, again, that's another point for you as a human being to pivot. And pivot you will, because that's the survival instinct. But try and stay creative in that process. You don't want to, some folks would just turn completely away from their craft, from their love, from their passion. And in that respect, they then go to Real estate, being a greeter at Walmart or a cashier, whatever it is.
Mhm.
And that's fine. God bless those folks, and I love them too. But if you can do it, if you can stay being a creative and keep yourself fed, pivoting when the marketplace changes.
Right. And see, that's something, as myself as a business owner, I am working for that, but I'm also in this space where I'm like, I do need a roof over my head.
Yes,
And not all the time am I going to have a client to pay for everything. So I have like a different part-time job that it's totally opposite.
sure, sure.
Is that something you had to do as well?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
When do you
I
know is like the moment it's like, okay, I need to just like full on go focus on this, my passion.
Well, it's like the alligator whose pond dries up moves on to the next pond.
Uh-huh.
You see it in your monthly budget. It's like, hey,
That's
hey,
true.
hey, 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 stop
Me.
this, stop this madness. And so for me, I had a whole ton of things that were outside the industry that I pivoted to.
What is the craziest, like, out of the box where you're like, "This is not me, but I'm gonna just do it anyway?"
Well, it kind of came by accident.
Uh-huh.
As when I was an engineer at Competitive Edge, Sunrise Teleproductions, I was in the audio booth at the time, and the producers were pals. They came in, ha ha ha. They had a great life, and so they would get their work done in the morning and then go play golf in the
Oh,
afternoon. They were
lucky.
they were very fortunate to have that gig. But they came to me one day and they said, "Hey, man, you've been in this box 24/7. You're in this little studio behind that tape machine all this time. We got to get you out of here. What are we going to get you to do?" And I said, "Well, buddy, this is what I do. I'm behind the console. I'm doing audio. Well, I go home to my wife and kids, and yeah, once in a while, I take my sports car out and I race it from autocross with Solo 2. And they go, "That's great. You're a driver. Come on, buddy. We're going to dress you up and put you behind the wheel. You're going to drive in commercials now." It's like,
What?
"Oh, buddy. Okay. That sounds like fun. Let's go do it." So I got a nice black jacket, black hat, black glasses. So it was in Mr.
Like a
Invisible.
security driver
Yeah,
almost,
well, no,
like,
this was actually driving
let me
in
see.
spots.
Okay.
And I term it precision driving, but it's light stunt or stunt driving eventually because they had me for a Chevrolet ad or a BF Goodrich ad. I can't remember.
Uh-huh.
We were down in the Bosque, I mean, literally on the sand. And they had buried a 16 millimeter film camera in the sand. And they said, "Okay, now you're going to take this Chevy 4x4 and jump over the camera position." And I said, "Sure, no problem." I grabbed a pair of vice grips and I crimped the seatbelt so it wouldn't move or retract or
Was
slack.
it ice scripts? Did you say ice
Vice grips.
Oh, vice
They're
grips.
locking pliers. So
Okay.
so I'd grab the seatbelt and just clip it on to make sure the seatbelt didn't loosen.
Uh-huh.
And I just took that SOB right over that camera position in air. The footage was great, and I can't get a copy of it, which kind of bugs me, but it flew very well. When it landed, it shattered this little fiberglass piece over my head. But other than that, the truck made it. And that was the start of driving for BF Goodrich and GMC Truck and other dealer groups. For about 10 years, I was a precision light stunt driver. And so that's the weirdest pivot in the whole bunch because
Wow.
we wound up
That's
going
a fun one.
with and a New Mexico crew, New Mexico producers. God bless those guys. I'd love to give them shout outs if I may. It was
Uh-huh.
Les Wells, producer, Mike Turi, director, Kelly Miller was involved. There were just a long list of beautiful people who made this happen. And literally, BF Goodrich came to Albuquerque to do their production. This was same for GMC Truck. Mr. Gallus brought the national agency for GMC Truck here.
Uh-huh.
We were Albuquerque was the place where 270 markets were being covered with those 2.9% financing for just a limited time. Get off your couch and go buy
Okay.
a new GMC. So yeah, we were the center of the universe for that for a long time. And that was my entree to the stunt driving.
Hmm.
And I had a pisser of a good time with that. It's some of my most favorite memories. I actually made the old Albuquerque 6 drive-in,
Uh-huh.
the entrance road that points towards towards the movie theater one way and towards I-25 the other way. It's I don't know. See You Anytime Auto Sales or somebody's there now. Might be Fuddruckers for all I know. But I actually took an Oldsmobile and jumped it through a giant 30-foot magazine cover.
Oh.
It was
I was like a ring of fire.
well, I know. Well, that would have been even cooler. You know, I'd love to do that. So, but yeah, it was a giant. It had won Car of the Year, so they had put this giant magazine cover up in a giant frame, which goes to show you how good our grip and set production people are in this town. And literally, we had I think 6 sheets or so, not many sheets, so it had to go right.
Uh-huh.
And the first one just peeled away. The second one was terrible. They started scoring the back of it
Oh, no.
with a razor. And finally, they got the scoring just right. And this fat pig of an Oldsmobile, I made that pig fly. I made it fly through the air, break through this magazine cover. And
You don't see that anywhere.
No, you don't see that anymore.
Now maybe AI is doing it.
It's all AI now. Yeah. Yeah. Back in the day, we did it for realsies. And it was fun. It was total fun, especially with the crew. The Albuquerque crew were great. And I should say New Mexico, because we had Mike Lamb out of Chimayo, Frank Tapia. We had, oh my God, Brian Anderson. There are so many people that were just really great professionals, high level. And I know we've got a lot of folks that came in from California during the movie years that have been in the recent times. But damn, we had some sharp people here before the movie thing started.
Oh.
So yeah,
Is that good or
that's wonderful. I mean, I think
the film scene is
oh no, I'm happy we have all these films here.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that we had those professional level people here before the movies really caught on. TV's always been through Albuquerque, though. I was in a Mannix episode back in the 70s.
even nowadays, like people are saying, like, oh, all the Californians are coming here, and that's what's making New Mexico great. Is because
No. Don't sell that in my store.
We are always been great, born and raised.
It's a fantastic market. It's a fantastic place to live. And yeah, I'm going out of here boots first. So
Okay.
there we go.
Okay. Well, from going to car stunt, wow. I mean,
It's
you
a
don't
crazy
hear
life.
about those applications anywhere.
Yeah.
You really have to get like that in. Someone has to tell you about it, it sounds like.
Well, yeah, it's when circumstance meets opportunity, you know?
Take that opportunity and
Well, it was
just
it
do
was the
so
same for going to work for the government. So there I was at KKOB in 1994-5, and I was production manager on the FM side. David Bernard was on the AM side, and I was helping John and the Bean and those guys doing their stuff.
And you would, how old are you at this point?
Okay. I had just turned, as a matter of fact, because I'm telling you, man.
This is after college, meaning.
Oh yeah. No, I was for something. Yeah, I think the first number might have been a 5. I'm not sure, but anyway, I was also narrating freelance outside in the outside world.
Okay.
And now it was just one friend from my radio days called me up and said, "Hey, Bob, I got this client that needs a narrator. Can you come in and do some narration for?" "Sure, I'll do it." And it was like 6 pages of narration, and I got paid an ungodly sum of money for it. It was just like, holy crap, can I do this some more, please? And I did. I wound up doing a lot of audio in a small closet, billfold closet with fern pads. But they loved it. And so I was at KOB, step ahead of 6 months, a year, maybe 2. And it's Friday. It's late. I got a wife and 2 kids at home in Taylor Ranch, and I'm like, man, this is a burnout, and it's not a lot of money. A salesperson walked in and dumped a bunch of dubs and spots for me to finish up for Saturday morning start. So here it was Friday night already. Everybody's out drinking beer. I'm stuck.
You're trying to get this.
Trying to get it all done. and a phone rings, and lo and behold, it's this producer from, I'll just say, on the base.
Okay.
And he goes, "Hey, we'd like to bring you inside." And I said, "Well, I am inside. I'm in the studio right now." "Yeah, no, 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 no. We want you to come to work for us on base." And it's like, well, send me your applications, you can do all this stuff. And so we went through that process, and he says, "Well, come on down. We're going to interview you." And I had 2 or 3 interviews by panels
And this is for
on the base. No, this is as first as a script writer,
okay.
and then secondary as a multifaceted videographer.
Oh.
So I was going to do all kinds of things around videography, from editing, shooting, lighing, audio,
Cloud engineer. There we
all those main facets, because
Were you
they're
excited?
rotating position. Well, this is the part that really was eye opening.
Uh-huh.
I was production manager at KKOB, and what they offered me was, and I was working 6 days, on the air on Saturdays. And
Is that like the typical? Like
yeah. For radio, that's pretty typical. I think even today, they even, I talked to somebody, one of the air talents at 94 Rock recently, last week, and they said there's even more tasking now for people that are working in radio than when I was there. So that's frightening to me. But anyway, so the guy calls me while I'm faced with this mountain of production, and he goes, here's the situation. He quoted the salary, and it was more than twice what I was making at KOB. He says, "We're going to give you every other Friday off," which I couldn't imagine. I'm going like, so I'm only have to work 5 days? No, you work 4 days, then 5 days, 4 days, and 5 days. And I'm like, a flex schedule, and I'd never heard of such a thing. So then we're going to give you a pension. What? What is that? And
Dang, they make it difficult for you to say no.
Oh, it's not difficult. It's impossible. 8% match on your 401k, and we're healthcare.
Wow.
And so I said, "Well, let me think about it."
Right?
Yeah.
To know that you were going to still take it anyway.
Right. And when I got in the door there, and this was the great part about it for me in my reflection, when I got in the door, they said, "Well, let's find out where your holes are and let's go fill them." So to that point, I hadn't really done any lighting. And I said, "Well, I got lighting is a big hole in mine. I don't know how to light worth of crap." And they sent me to school for lighting. They sent me to the Sony Institute in California for learning editing. They sent me back to these professionals at Maine Media College for all these other skill sets.
So
I went
what's
through
the
everything.
bad part?
Well, it's I still can't talk about what I did, and all this, 15 years of footage is in a
You worked
safe.
with them for 15 years?
Yeah. Well, I kept my business going. My little Spirited USA kept going through my 1099s, through my contract friends. That's how I kept
Which
it
we
going.
definitely need to get on too.
Oh, yeah. Sure, let's go.
But I'm curious. So, because that is a point too where you're like, I'm making good money, but I'm also creative. Like, how do I balance my business to be at that level?
Well, and at that time, I was the voice for Russ Whitener. I was the voice for
Your
Buffalo
voice is
Thunder. Yeah, I mean, no, I was still doing stuff on the commercial side. I was just working for Uncle Sam on the inside. So I had the best of both worlds for a long time, and I'm blessed. Believe me, I realize how lucky I am, and I'm very grateful, mostly to my colleagues in the Albuquerque multimedia and advertising, all these
Sending
people.
you gigs.
Oh, no, it's not that they're sending me gigs, but I had the opportunity to work with them because they brought the community, the production community in this town is amazing. If a producer takes the time to get to know them and see what their work is, we have an amazing talent pool here of creative, of below the line folks. Yeah.
Okay. So Spirited, your business.
Spirited USA LLC.
When did you start that business?
1988.
Okay.
When I left Competitive Edge, I started that in 1988. And it's still running
Why the
now.
name?
Spirited Performance.
Uh-huh.
I wanted to bring, back in those days, if you wanted to shoot TV commercials, it's going to cost you about $15,000 a day to go shoot with film crew and everybody, right?
I feel like that's still very common today. It's almost
Well, but the technology has changed to make it more affordable. So even though inflation has driven prices up, that it's the technology that helped bring it down.
Okay.
So at that time, that was my goal. I wanted to take the technology of 1988 and reduce the cost for mom and pop. Places like the general store. I did their advertising for years until Mitch retired and it went away. But, that was a great opportunity for me to display the fact that we can take this new technology and reduce that cost from 15,000 to a couple thousand, 2,000, 3,000.
Yeah.
I still made a profit. They got away clean and the production still made it to air, which was kind of crazy. But I had to incorporate 32nd Street. I had Channel 4. I had to incorporate a lot of different people to make those numbers. Yeah, there was a lot of outreach in order to keep those numbers pliable for industry, because I was also doing small business, like minor corporations, and that they really needed the help. So my drive, if you will, was to help to provide access to multimedia to companies, mom and pop shops, small businesses,
To get the advertising they
either advertising or informational, displays for conventions, anything that they needed. We did the Pro Rodeo video for their national event one time by accident. Just a producer in Santa Fe goes, "Hey, those guys look pretty good." So, it was like, well, and so, that led to personal adventures that, were just incredible outside the professional.
And you started this by yourself from the beginning?
Yeah, well, nobody does, it's a team sport, right? Life is a team sport. So I would say, yes, it was a sole proprietorship and it was mine. I, pulled everything out of savings and spun the wheel of fortune and it broke. It failed, it rose, it failed, it rose, it failed, it rose. We got knocked down, we got back up, we got knocked down, we got back up. And we're still standing at 38 years.
Wow. Congratulations. Today, I listen to business podcasts or I'll hear from friends and this is about money related to business, is to never punch your own money into your business and get
At some point.
at some point or at the beginning, right? You get the clients, but in your case, how much money did you what would you say is the best for like a young entrepreneur who is wanting to start a business? How much money would you put?
I can't give you a dollar amount because the scale has changed. Well, I'll try, but it's like you need a good laptop. You need an outboard 16 terabyte drive,
And good sleep.
and some Advil PM but the most important thing is to invest in your education, and I don't mean a college degree. I mean the technical education. I mean the education. Right. Fill in your holes. You have a creative center line, so you're probably pretty good in that center line. Now you need to get the shoulder, the right lane and the far left lane covered, and that's what I did in the main media college. I went and filled in my lighting hole, my hole for my last class there, just to show you how outrageous this main media college is.
Okay.
My last class there was producing documentaries, being taught by Larry Hott. If you're not familiar with the name Larry Hott, he is Ken Burns' line producer, Florentine Films. Now, we got to sit at his feet for 6 days, 10 hours a day, and learn how to produce, and I mean,
beginning to end.
yeah, and I mean the ugly stuff like permitting, making shady deals for a 10K light, those kinds of things,
Uh-huh.
and stealing from craft services to pay your people.
Yeah.
It's just any anything and everywhere, using all your resources till you tingle to produce what you want to create. And so away you go,
Invest in yourself.
Invest in the education.
Mm-hmm.
Pay the money, go to the main media college. Pay the money, go to what's that place in Los Angeles that I studied editing with Mr. Quick. He was a Paramount editor
Uh-huh.
for Dr. Phil, and he was teaching us editing and graphic stuff
Interesting.
in Studio City, and I can't remember the
You
school right now.
traveled for your
Yes.
education.
Oh, yeah. And I recommend Full Sail if you want to do audio. Go to Full Sails. That
Oh,
money
I've
is
heard of Full Sail.
Full Sail
That's
and Maine
online.
Media College are both going to pay you back more than you invest, because you're going to wind up. Sorry.
I've definitely, it's so funny. I like a couple years ago, this was before I was gonna get my master's. I was getting advertisements for Full Sail on YouTube everywhere, which I'd never heard of, Full Sail.
It's one. It's one of the schools,
Mhm.
but since I'm an alumni several times over of Maine Media College. But the trick to that is, and this goes for all of those schools, study the instructors.
Mhm.
Study, where did they come from? What do they do?
Right.
And then, that's like when I saw Larry Hott was producing documentaries. It's like, well, hell yeah, I'm going. And it's the same for all these schools. You want to pick the best mentor you possibly can get to teach you. I mean, there are a lot of teachers that may not measure up. And so you skip that that class, you find one with the better teacher. And it's almost like the draft, the best player available,
You could definitely pick your people.
Yeah.
And that goes for teachers too there.
Yeah. It's a wonderful school,
Mhm.
worth the investment. And it used to be about $2,500 for tuition, airfare, lodging at the town motel in Camden, Maine.
A year?
No, no, for the 6 weeks. I mean, for the 6 days. 6 days that's your travel up, your meals, your meal package there, your beer drinking, your partying on Friday night, you're sailing out on
Is that
Penobscot
cheap?
Bay. It's well, it's probably $3,500 now, but
Okay.
it's still worth it. The point I'm making though is when you come back, well, the example, like I'll use lighting as the example.
Right.
When I
Fill
came,
those holes.
I was asked to shoot a eighth of an inch in diameter optic lens that was in the bottom of a tube that was about 4 inches long.
Uh-huh.
Now, if imagine a tube that's about an eighth of an inch in diameter with a glass lens at the bottom of it,
Uh-huh.
now try and imagine lighting that
And taking
an image, right? Oh well, moving image, but
Right.
after that class, I was able to do it and make them laugh when I did it.
Wow.
So it was fun. Instead of becoming a nightmare and impossible to do,
Mm-hmm.
it was not just possible to do, it was a blast. Let's do this.
A fun challenge.
Yes. So that's what the value of education is, partially,
Well, I 100% agree with you. I got my master's, and that was the reason why I wanted to um, fill in those holes into like graphic designing, marketing yourself, which,
Very
with,
important.
yes, let's talk about that with your business. Um, how do you market something that, even for your voice, people can't physically see?
There's 1,000 ways, and it'll cost you $1,000. So yeah, that's kind of what I'm doing
Keep
now.
networking, right?
Right. Well, yes, for the creatives,
Mhm.
if the audience is creatives, I say keep networking. If the audience is a small businessman,
Mhm.
then you should turn to someone like me
Yeah.
and give me a call. We'll work it out. But for my business, it was part networking, and it was also finding where that customer lives and finding out what their problem is, and then finding a solution to their problem. For me, in the beginning, it was finding. I saw that the small businessman couldn't do TV ad. It was unless they were buying a huge ball of media, and then they'd throw in a little cheap production.
Mhm.
But they couldn't do anything that was competitive, creative wise. So I sought to fill that hole. And when it came time to market that, it was simple mail. It was simple phone calls. It was doing the gritty, ugly work of marketing your business.
Mhm.
You know, one of the most comedic things about my life is the fact that here I am, a production guy. Okay,
Uh-huh.
not really into business, not really into marketing myself. Right. My son turned out to be sales manager. He's currently sales manager for Next Star Media in San Francisco. And has
Wow.
6 AEs and 20 or so across the country. And it's just like God has a sense of humor for the production guy to create to bring up a salesperson.
But the apple doesn't fall too far from the tree.
No,
It's
he's had
almost
more
like
adventures than I have by this time, but man, it's been hilarious watching, instead of being a chip off the old block and being a production guy, he's in marketing and sales with 2 degrees,
that's cool.
it's an interesting life.
Awesome. Well, is there like a marketing tactic you tried and maybe like completely failed at?
Mm. Oh, boy, that's a great question because I have, just doing the easy marketing.
Mhm.
That's fraught with peril.
Interesting. What's easy marketing?
Oh, the easy marketing is, um, when social media throws, we'll get you 10,000 likes, or for just $10, or um, we'll do your commercial for free. And the things that are easy usually turn out to be not as effective as what you can do by your own grit and your own determination.
Yeah.
I know this. There's a company, and this company that I'm working with, and a consultant, advertising consultant for, in Arizona,
Uh-huh.
and the idea is that they were going to pull a lot of traffic off of Interstate 40. Turned out not to be so. Thought that there was going to be a lot of radio exposure because of the travelers on the interstate. That
Mhm.
turned out not to be so.
Okay.
So by doing the gritty, hard, ugly, return ratios, customer analysis, all that crap, excuse me, for those of you that are into it, it produced the result that this company needed to do more in a different direction, totally print, but it was a specific type of print. And that would give them the 4% or 7% increase in traffic and ticket sales.
Mhm.
We're trying to we want their average ticket to go up, $10, $20 or, whatever. So
I mean, I
three
see what
sounds.
you mean. Like with easy marketing, like I mean, this is something I even do is the easy marketing is like posting about a event that's happening and like maybe multiple times and it could add up in hours, but the most return I've seen is like personally sending out messages.
Yes.
Those email blasts or
Yes.
those newsletters, um, reminding them, that's hard, but, like,
Yeah.
it's like making them feel personal and making the, invitation feel personal.
Well, the swear word that I use, cold call,
Cold
is
call.
cold call is
I love
it.
cold calling.
No, it's foul language to me, and
Anyone who knows.
I pray for forgiveness to God whenever I say it, because it's horrible. I hate doing it more. I would rather go clean toilets at the train station than do cold calling. But for this Arizona business, it turned out to be one of the most beautiful things. They were doing, I mean, they had added $150,000 in sales in 1 month through that effort because they turned to a slightly different market. They went to a very niche yet large
Uh-huh.
group of customers, and it paid off huge. So,
Wow.
yeah, advertising it's part art,
Ever
part science.
evolving.
Yes, it's ever evolving, and it's also, part reading tea leaves, throwing dried chicken bones, a little bit of sage, and pretty soon you've got it. And some of it is trial and error. Some of it is, stick your finger in the socket, see what happens.
I see.
It's been for me it's been a great adventure, and the adventure continues, which is hilarious. I'm 71 years old, and I feel much younger, and I'm very active. I'm for hire, so you know I'm ready to do voice work. I'm ready to direct. I'm ready to produce. I'm ready to be a consultant. And the back to our AI pivot, right?
Right.
That's where I found myself turning into a consultant instead of, I have all this experience from the craft side. I have all this experience from the production side, government and corporate, large corporations, Fortune 50s, plus GMC, plus all this other stuff. And it's like, well, it's a natural pivot for me to become a consultant, and I can use AI as a tool to aid my customers. Again, I got 14 Telly Awards and a couple of ad feds and all this other stuff, but those belong to my client. The client is the one that hired me. They're the ones that had the foresight to say, this idiot's the one we want. And so it's really their awards. And so from here forward, I'm hoping to help them do that on their own, help them to find their way through this change. Again, the AI revolution.
Right. It could be different in 2 weeks.
Right, it will be, and I'm ready. I've that's the thing that's the advantage that us old farts have, is that we have this accumulated experience, this tacit knowledge, and we apply that to this new world, this new AI world, and it's really, if you embrace it and run with it, it's pretty amazing. If you resist it and hate it and reject it, it's fraught with peril.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things, evolve or die. I got the t-shirt on my Etsy store, shopspiritusa.com. There you go. There's my plug.
Yeah. And it's a tough topic, and it's hard to talk about it with certain people or people in general because I mean, in a sense, like, how can we go with AI in an economic development way that is good for our land and good for our people,
Right.
but still keep up with how fast it's moving?
Well, luckily,
Yep.
a lot of the AI folks, I'll say the folks on the development and building side, are taking a better look at things, as far as treating treating the planet better.
Mhm.
For example, they're using solar farms to generate electricity rather than pull it off the grid. They're using natural gas rather than, or other electrical sources to power.
And this
The one
might
in
be
Roswell, the AI center in Roswell, great example. They are using New Mexico natural gas to power those plants without taking it from the civilian grid, but they're going to supplement with solar. They're going to use,
Mhm.
if geothermal were economic, they would do that too, but they're going to be pulling green energy to do that AI development down there. That's
Yeah.
pretty cool.
And it's funny to say, like, talk about it too. It's like, this is AI is not even our industry in a sense,
Right.
but we're all just kind of coming
Oh no, it's
to
kicked the
it.
door in.
And we're just like, okay, we see it, and it's, yeah, it's,
I hated it. I mean, with a passion, with a vehement
Did-
passion. I swear I threw crap against the wall because I was mad that it took away my phone.
Eh.
I mean, my phone stopped ringing.
Mhm.
You know, it was everybody else had pivoted away from me as a video editor, me as a voice talent, when they could go click, click and get an artificial voice. And that was just good enough. Yeah. So it was like, hey, that's frustrating. And those were mostly narration gigs.
Mhm.
But you know, so I had to shake myself and say, you know, dude, what are you going to do? Are you going to let this thing beat you down, or are you going to learn it and use it as a way to pivot,
Mhm.
change my direction? And so I did, and it was successful by becoming, you know, this company in Arizona, they're going to have a great year this year, but I used AI as a tool to help model it specifically for their business.
Mhm.
So when I came to them with an advertising plan, which was a new thing for me, being a production guy, you know, going presenting an ad deck, you know,
A presentation deck.
yeah,
Uh-huh.
that was a new thing for me. I had people to do that, right? You know, my agency folks did that.
Mhm.
Well, I've been pushed into a new arena that was very uncomfortable for me. I did it successfully, and so now I'd like to repeat that for other people, so that it can enable them to grow and prosper. You know,
Yeah.
they keep telling me that this AI is going to bring a new era of prosperity and quality of life to everybody. It's like, okay, well, I reckon it's going to be us that are going to make that happen.
Right.
So, as a creative, as a production guy, I have to try and use it to the best of my ability.
Mhm.
And if I choose to ignore it, Descript is still going to have monthly subscribers. Canva is still going to have monthly subscribers.
Right.
And the rest of them critters. There's going to be more creatives in the world because of all of this. It's just like your cell phone. I get so many. I have a latest Android. I won't plug them, yeah, but I have the latest Android cell phone, Ultra. And so when I take pictures with that, I'm shocked. I'm an Icon guy, Canon and Nikon guy,
Okay.
and I'm absolutely gobsmacked by the images coming out of cell phones today.
Mhm.
So now I see guys at events running around with rigs, you know, stabilizing rigs with a damn cell phone in the middle of that rig.
Right.
Evolve or
Smaller
die.
and smaller.
Yeah, evolve or die. Evolve or die. That's the thing. So, you know, that's the future.
Mhm.
We're gonna roll with it. It's an old song by Steve Winwood. It's really good if you haven't heard it lately. It's a
Roll with it.
roll with it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, it's funny because every time you say pivot, I always think of, like, the Friends, like, TV show
Yes.
where they're, like, trying to get the couch up the stairs and Ross is like, "Pivot!"
Yeah.
Which and pivoting in, like, a career or something you've gone to school with, it can be scary, it could be, like, frightening,
Yeah.
all of the above,
Yeah.
and it's just and I'm really glad we were able to talk to and be able to, um, of course, agree upon, like, education, invest
Oh
in
yeah.
yourself, and network.
Well, I'm also available as a public speaker, and
Okay.
and the topic that I
You should be.
well, the
We
topic
need you in Mentoring Mondays.
oh, I'd love that. So, and I'll just tell me where, and I'll be there.
Uh-huh.
But my talk is choices, change, risks, and rewards. So we all make choices as we go through this mortal coil of ours. And, you know, 24 hours, maybe 60 good years, it's really not that long a stay. So you need to make the best choices you can. The one constant in the universe is change. So we're going to have changes through that time period. And you're going to be called upon to take risks, as you did when you started your company. And I feel your pain. So, but there are rewards there too. Look where you are now in this beautiful studio, and it's fantastic. I'm really just absolutely amazed at how wonderful this is. So,
Mhm.
so when you get those choices and you make those changes and you take those risks, accept that the rewards are going to come to you. There is a power of attraction. The secret, is a real thing. What you focus on is where you're going.
Mhm.
So use the tools you have, get some more education, and
And
move
there's
forward.
light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah,
That's hope.
yeah, yeah, it is.
Awesome. Well, Bob Lang, thank you so much for coming on the podcast.
Camo, it was a pleasure.
Till next time. Till next Mentoring Monday. No, I'm just
I'll be
It is
glad.
Monday.
Yeah, it is. So there you go. We're ready to go.